whatever money is disbursed, whether under the Chief Minister's flood relief fund, under any central package, under any money that has been collected under any way by the state government, it will all be accounted for. We have already
Are you saying you're satisfied?
There will be a third party.
Omar Abdullah, are you saying you're satisfied? Are you satisfied with what your state government has been able to do?
Look, you know, Rajdeep, the fact that nobody has died of disease, nobody has died of hunger, and nobody has died of cold after the floods is something that I take a lot of satisfaction from. In the immediate aftermath of the floods, everybody believed that Srinagar was ripe for an epidemic. And the fact that there hasn't been a single outbreak of waterborne diseases, the fact that in large parts Srinagar city has been cleared, the fact that we have disposed of scientifically 1,700 carcasses, the fact that we have vaccinated 10,50,000 children in the range of 0 to 15 years, is something that I take a lot of satisfaction from. Yes. Will I be fully satisfied? No, not until the last amount of relief reaches the last affected person.
And yet it appears that Omar Abdullah doesn't want to face the people in an election. You've given enough indication to suggest that the national conference is completely against the elections being held on time in November, December, that you want the elections postponed. And your critics are saying one reason of that is you fear that in the flood aftermath, your party will be washed out.
Well, my party got washed out in the parliament elections. That's hardly a reason for me not to want the assembly elections. I mean, at the end of the day, in the parliament elections, we had a 6-0 result going against us. So, I mean, it's not like I was trying to sabotage the elections from that point onwards. At this point in time, my party, the government, at least at the political level, hasn't been asked what it thinks. You're quoting the National Conference, and the National Conference sincerely believes that this is a time when we need to reach out to people and rehabilitate them to ensure that relief reaches the right people and we put them back on their feet before the onset of winter. I mean, please understand, now suddenly the principal opposition is singing a different tune. In 2008, when things were a lot better than this, when people hadn't lost their homes and livelihoods and everything else, at that time when assembly elections were called, the People's Democratic Party was the first party to say that this was the wrong time for elections and people shouldn't be forced to come out and vote. Now suddenly, because they're in the opposition, they're singing a different tune.
So you are effectively asking, you maintain that elections cannot be held in the winter, they need to be held in the spring or summer. You believe that the conditions are not conducive to holding elections. You've even gone to the extent of said there'll be a zero turnout.
I'm not maintaining anything of the sort. As I told you, my party has said what it has had to the Election Commission.
You are the party, Omar.
The state government
Sorry to intervene. You are the party and you want the elections to be postponed.
No,
Why not say directly that you want the elections to be postponed?
The National Conference has decided that that would be the best advice to provide to the Election Commission. The Election Commission is obviously well within its powers to ignore that advice, and that's fine. If they announce elections, then whether we like it or not, we'll be out there campaigning and doing the best that we can.
Tell me, you had a meeting with the Prime Minister yesterday. You've been part of the UPA in the past. Do you see alliances in the valley now shifting? Is Narendra Modi becoming a principal pole of politics in the valley? We are told that the PDP is also inching closer towards Mr. Modi. Do you see a kind of realignment of political forces now in the valley ahead of the elections?
Rajdeep, the meeting I had with the Prime Minister yesterday was a meeting between the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir and the Prime Minister of India. To infer from that this is some sort of new tactical political alliance would be wrong.
I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting yesterday's meeting, but I'm saying in general. I'm saying in general, do you accept that the BJP is now a rising force, particularly in Jammu, and therefore no government will be formed in Kashmir, many believe, without the support of the BJP? Do you see a realignment of political forces in the next couple of months?
I think that would be very premature at this point in time. Let's see what the voters of Jammu and Kashmir decide. I mean, for most of you sitting here, you've already written the National Conference off. So how does it matter what sort of alliances form? I mean, if we're not going to have anything to talk with, then then why drag us into post?
You haven't written yourself off. You haven't. You believe that the National Conference still has every chance in the elections.
Absolutely. Why should we write ourselves off? We have 6 years of good achievements to talk about. Yes, the flood was difficult for all of us, but even the post-flood situation, as I keep maintaining, we have ensured that not a single person has died of disease, hunger or cold in the aftermath of the floods. I mean, what more could you ask of us?
Okay, Omar Abdullah, we'll let the people of Jammu and Kashmir decide that question, whether you've done enough for them in the last 6 years to deserve re-election. But for now, I appreciate your joining us here on Headlines Today. Thank you very much. Okay, let's take a break at this point. When we return, plenty more with the news. News now this evening here on the news today at 9, because there are signs that amidst a rapprochement between the BJP and the Shiv Sena ahead of government formation in Maharashtra, Shiv Sena chief Uddhav Thackeray may not be attending a high tea being hosted by the Prime Minister for NDA MPs and leaders on Sunday. That's the big question. Will Uddhav Thackeray attend that meeting and break, in a sense, the ice with the Shiv Sena after the Maharashtra election? Let me go straight across to Rahul Kanwal, managing editor, who joins us at the moment. Rahul, give us the latest. What am I to understand? Uddhav Thackeray not to attend the dinner being thrown by the high tea being thrown by the Prime Minister?
Rajdeep, let me start by telling you about what a very key BJP leader who's at the center of talks with the Shiv Sena told me a short while before now. He says that there is, as of now, no plan for allocation of berths between the Shiv Sena and the BJP because talks haven't even reached that stage. He says, as far as we are concerned, come Tuesday or Wednesday, we will go ahead and stake claim to form the next government in Maharashtra. If by then we've been able to bring the Shiv Sena on board, well and good. If not, then it's just too bad. Uddhav Thackeray is most likely not coming to Delhi. We just got off the phone with a senior Shiv Sena leader. He says there is no question because they haven't yet, Rajdeep, reached a position where they've been able to figure out how berths in the cabinet will be allocated. As of now, the BJP seems in a mood to go ahead and form the government. If they're able to bring the Shiv Sena on board, great. Otherwise, they'll carry on in a solo act. Rajdeep.
So what you're saying is that as early as Monday, the BJP will choose its leader, who is most likely to be Devendra Fadnavis. They will go ahead with the swearing in and the government formation. Whether the Shiv Sena joins or not is now entirely up to Uddhav Thackeray.
Absolutely. In fact, there never really was any doubt or any concern in the minds of the people who matter in the BJP at this time about Devendra Fadnavis' selection as the next chief ministerial candidate. They said this decision was taken even before the last vote had been counted. They were determined on pushing ahead. In fact, the party leadership took a very dim view on the show of strength by Nitin Gadkari at his residence with all the Vidarbha MLAs coming in, even though Gadkari tried his best to ensure that he put out an image suggesting that he wasn't responsible for this, that is the MLAs who came here, but the party said that we know how these things happen, they don't happen automatically. This is Gadkari's show of strength because they're concerned, in their calculation, Nitin Gadkari fears that he might become irrelevant in Maharashtra politics. After Gopinath Munde's death, he's still the senior most Maharashtra leader. His concern is once Devendra Fadnavis, who's also a Nagpur Brahmin, becomes the chief minister of Maharashtra, over a period of time, he could possibly overshadow Nitin Gadkari, and that they believe is the concern that's playing on Nitin Gadkari's mind. The decision to anoint Devendra Fadnavis as the next chief minister of Maharashtra is a done deal. The BJP will announce it. They're not even asking the Shiv Sena whether or not they're okay with Devendra Fadnavis' candidature. They're saying this is a very different BJP, very aggressive, lots of machismo being displayed. They're saying he's our man. These are our terms and conditions. This is the way we'll do it. If you think it's okay, if you want to come on board, please do. If not, that's your call.
Okay, so BJP now talking tough with the Shiv Sena and making it clear that it's now for Uddhav Thackeray to really reach out to Narendra Modi, not the other way around. Rahul Kanwal with that piece of breaking news on question mark over Uddhav Thackeray attending the Prime Minister's Diwali Milan. Okay, let's turn to a special report. The Burdwan blast probe in Bengal has now widened to 3 states, including Telangana and Madhya Pradesh. This after alleged links have emerged between a suspected bank robbery in Karimnagar in Telangana, and now links are emerging in Khandwa in Madhya Pradesh with Simi members. Sources telling Headlines Today, the NIA has taken over the probe both into the robbery and jailbreak cases to ascertain the Simi link with the West Bengal terror web.
Burdwan terror trail widening. A suspected Simi link spread over as many as 3 states. This robbery in a bank in Telangana's Karimnagar could be a crucial link being probed by NIA.
Sources tell headlines today that currency bundles with stamps of SBI branch Chopadandi, a small town in Karimnagar district of Telangana state, were found in Burdwan. A clear link between the money that was robbed from Telangana state in February 2014 and Burdwan. This shows that perhaps the money which was robbed was used to finance the blast.
In February this year, 4 gunmen had looted the bank and fled with Rs 46 lakhs. It is suspected the robbers were part of a 7-member Simi group which had escaped after jailbreak in MP's Khandwa. The Karimnagar cops suspect the robbery was carried out to fund Bardhaman terror plot.
The NIA chief's visit to West Bengal does drive home a point that the centre does not want to compromise on matters of national security. That's the reason why the centre took suo motu cognizance and handed over the probe to the NIA. It also comes in the backdrop of stiff resistance to a central agency probe by the Mamata Banerjee government, which clearly stated that the CID was competent authority to probe the entire issue.
But NIA DG, who visited the Bardhaman blast site, was tight-lipped.
I had detailed discussion with my officers and we have evolved strategies regarding arrest of absconding accused person. Beyond this, I will not be able to tell you anything.
NIA is already probing madrasas in Murshidabad with alleged links to terrorists killed in the accidental blast in Bardhaman on October 2nd. With T.S. Sudhir in Hyderabad and Indrajit Kundu in Kolkata, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Story from Bangalore. The school in Bangalore where a 3-year-old was sexually assaulted is in the dock for brazenly flouting norms. The General Secretary of the school trust has now been arrested. The school was found running classes illegally and not conducting background checks on staff. The Bangalore police has also detained 1 person after grilling 20 staff of the school.
No end to Bangalore's rape shame. After the alleged rape of a 3-year-old in a school, questions are now being raised on the elaborate safety mechanisms that were mandatory for schools to follow. Following the rape of a 6-year-old in July, which sparked massive protests, the Bangalore police came up with elaborate guidelines for schools to secure the campus for children. The guidelines included installation of CCTV cameras on campus, GPS on school buses, and compulsory verification of school staffers. However, several school management took objection to the guidelines, saying many of them would drain their resources. In this case, the Education Department found the school had no documents to prove its affiliation with the CBSE.
Yesterday, I visited the school and I asked the records to be submitted to show that they have registered with CBSE. But they are unable to show any records. And even coming to the school also, they have not, coming to my office also, they have not produced any records to show that they are affiliated to the CBSE as such.
Meanwhile, a suspect has been held and is in police custody after he was identified by the child, who was shown photos of the suspects. The man taken into custody is a cleaner in the school. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has called for action against the private school.
I told the police people and the education department to initiate action against the institution, management of the institution.
We already arrested 1 person from the management and the case was booked against 4 people.
The incident is the second major one to hit headlines in the past 3 months. And with authorities seemingly unresponsive, the Chief Minister was in fact caught napping during a discussion on the subject in the Assembly. It is the parents who have it upon themselves to ensure a safe environment for their children. With Pratibha Raman in Bangalore, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
From the shame of Bangalore, let's go straight across now to Shiv for what else is making the headlines in Speed News. Shiv.
Thanks, Rajdeep. Here's a quick look at some of the other stories we're tracking here on Headlines today. High alert sounded in airports in Mumbai, Ahmedabad and Kochi. Security beefed up after an anonymous caller threatened to target Air India flights. India rejects resolution by Pakistan National Assembly seeking to internationalize the Kashmir issue. External Affairs Ministry says no role for any third party in bilateral issues. Bombs hurled at police team during raid to recover crude explosives in West Bengal's Birbhum. 14 people detained. Attack takes place in an area where a Trinamool leader has openly exhorted party cadres to target police. Fresh rains and snowfall in upper reaches of the Himalayas lead to mercury plummeting in the valley. Bleak future for the flood-hit people still stranded in relief camps. Prime Minister Modi to visit Naxal-hit Dantewada on the 1st of November. The Prime Minister will be meeting violence-hit families and take stock of development work. Over 200 homes gutted in a fire in Delhi slum in Shastri Nagar area. While no one was killed, 5 people suffered minor burn injuries. Fresh fears of Ebola spread in the United States after first case reported in New York. Doctor back from West Africa after treating infected patients test positive. Chilling footage of gunman on rampage inside Canadian Parliament. Police released footage of the lone gunman with alleged links to radical groups. Atletico de Kolkata's coach Antonio Lopez Habas faces disciplinary action over allegedly punching FC Goa's captain Robert Perez. The incident happened during half-time at the Nehru Stadium in Fatorda. Habas faces ban or a hefty fine. The much-awaited first look of Amir Khan's PK is now out. The film, directed by Rajkumar Hirani, also stars Anushka Sharma and Sushant Singh Rajput. The movie hits theatres on the 19th of November. And it's back to you, Rajdeep, in the studio.
Thanks very much, Shiv, for that. Okay, let's turn to Shah Rukh Khan, who's back on the screen today with Happy New Year, his latest film, and with a familiar face. Farah Khan, who also directed him in Om Shanti Om. Happy New Year, released today, is set to be inspired by the Hollywood hit Ocean series. The star cast included Abhishek Bachchan, Deepika Padukone and Boman Irani. But should we be going to see the film? Our friendly neighborhood couch potato Koel reviewed the film for Headlines today. Let's find out what the couch potato says.
Hello, I'm Koel Puri Roche and I love being a couch potato because I get to watch films like Happy New Year is a comic heist film set in a dance competition. Charlie, played by an incredibly fit Shah Rukh Khan, seeks to avenge his father by robbing Mughal diamonds worth billions and setting up the man who wronged his father. Charan Grover, played by Jackie Shroff. Charlie has waited 8 years for this. He recruits 5 other people with different skill sets who are going to help him pull off this mega theft. Enter Charlie's angel. Tammy, who's played by Boman Irani, is the middle-aged Parsi mummy's boy who is the safe maker and break. Nandu, played by a very funny Abhishek Bachchan, is the look-alike recruited to do the snake dance at every given opportunity. Vivan Shah, who plays Rohan, the geek hacker who can make them win dance competitions as well as break any code under the sun. The incredible Mohini, played by Deepika Padukone, who is there to make you marvel at the wonder of her body. If you choose the latter, then here are a few of my favorite things. The objectifying of the male body. No one is objecting, certainly none of the women, and I'm sure at least some of the men are not objecting. So it's also very fair to the female form, and her actresses always look and dance like never before. And I'd happily go see it again. So for that, I'm giving it 3.5 potatoes.
Bottom line, leave your mind at home and go and watch Happy New Year. And if you're not doing that, it's time to say goodbye to all of you. Image of the day, India's maiden Mars orbiter, the Mangalyaan, has completed 1 month in the Martian orbit. And search giant Google has decided to pay a tribute to India's space prowess.